Hello again, welcome back to New York Talk. This is the Scouting Report, where we're going to look ahead to this weekend's opposition. This time we go across to Shrewsbury. We have Ollie from the Salopcast joining us to tell us all about their season so far and all things Shrewsbury. How's it going, Ollie?
Not very well. It's not been a great start to the season, to be honest. You guys are doing a little bit better than us with 3 draws, giving yourself 3 points more than us. But no, it hasn't been a great start. Not completely unexpected, but I can't say it's been very enjoyable.
Yeah, let's go back to we'll go back to sort of pre-season. I know Paul Hurst came back in last season. What was the pre-season expectations? Was it? Well, talk me through what you thought in August time.
I think obviously you're gonna get a blend, don't you, as a fan base in terms of expectations. Some fans follow football more than others. I think I was always quite expecting a very tough season. I thought that, like, in terms of predictions, I thought maybe you'd finish like 19th or something. So, in the relegation kind of skirts all season. But what I didn't expect was Paul Hurst's side, as he was a player, hardworking, honest, gritty, to the point, very, Yorkshireman. And we haven't seen that at all. It's really strange. It's not a Paul Hurst side. And we've been we can see some very, very soft goals, which is something that we've never experienced. Even when he took over off Shrewsbury Town the first time, we were bottom of the league table, and this season is just so bizarre. It doesn't quite add up. So in terms of like expectations, I thought relegation battle. Most Shrewsbury fans thought as well. Some people obviously thought maybe mid-table, but given the depth of the division this year, and not really sure where our budget is, to be honest, probably quite near the bottom. I also thought it was going to be quite a tough season, but to be honest, I didn't think it would be as bad as this.
Okay, but then sort of randomly in the middle, you've got that 3-0 victory at home to later on, which just sticks out like a sore thumb. Talking about that, and did you think you've moved on, maybe kind of thing? You've turned a corner, but not.
I didn't.
Okay.
Leighton Orient were atrocious.
Okay.
Like, when a team just gets into the final third, and then, like, I don't know, I've got this vivid memory of their left back like almost threatening their fans behind the goal. I mean, it was that kind of a game. And then we scored like a decent goal, take the lead. Then one of our forwards scored a worldie from distance, and then they made a huge mistake, and we scored on the counter in 96th minute. So it wasn't it sounds silly. It was a 3-0 win, but it wasn't a 3-0 win in the conventional sense. They had more possession than us. It was an enjoyable. You've got to enjoy the wins. You know that as Rotherham fans. When you're in the Championship, you got to enjoy the wins, and it was very enjoyable. I didn't get too high after that one, but it was much needed 3 points. Otherwise, we'd be on 0 points, even worse than Cambridge.
Yeah, exactly. Just talking about Paul Hurst in general, obviously he came back last season. What was the view when he came back in? Because he left to Ipswich, obviously, which feels like an age ago now. Was that a welcome reappointment?
Yeah, it was a very smart move by the chairman. The chairman's been under a lot of flack and continues to be a lot of flack because he got rid of Steve Cottrell. So Steve Cottrell finished 12th. Lots of questions about expenditure, who spent so much money. Fans are kind of divided about kind of like the different stories we get weaved. But he got rid of a successful manager. Shrewsbury Town finished mid-table in League One. Is a decent. He wasn't everyone's cup of tea in terms of his, attitude and the way he spoke to the media. But he was a brilliant tactician. Like, the football could be dire, but he got results, and his players worked for him, and we didn't make the kind of mistakes we've seen this season. So and then the chairman, we got a director of football. Then we got Matty Taylor of Pompey fame, and he was an atrocious football manager, utterly atrocious. Him and assistant manager heard some terrible things about the players' opinion of them. And then, when you're just watching your team and you're like, this is not good. there is like no patterns of play. There's no organisation, and like last season we had quite a few players on quite high wages from the Steve Cottrell era, and I think they probably did enough to kind of keep us safe. And we had some really funny games. We went to Fleetwood away after a couple of games. We had one shot on target after Danny Udoh ran half the pitch and put the ball in the back of the net. We did nothing else. Against Burton, we won, and it was so lucky. So we had some really weird lucky wins, which then put us in a decent place in the table. And then, got rid of him. Fans are not happy. Chairman is not in a very popular position. And then he turns and brings back the Messiah, who's Paul Hurst, who couldn't really have picked a better manager. Come in first game, Northampton away, 4-3-3 after 3 at the back for so long. Played him off the park. Didn't quite go so well after that, but the Gilet was back. His little man, big man with Doigi was back. And the chairman couldn't really have picked a better man to lead the club in terms of kind of his. Now, there's a lot of people that kind of, begrudge him going to Ipswich, and, there's rumours that he like cleared his desk before the playoff final and all this nonsense like that. He went to Ipswich. You can't complain about that. It's a decent club. He gave us a couple of million quid in the bank, which didn't harm. So I had no qualms with Paul Hurst coming back. But I wouldn't say he's doing a great job this year. I wouldn't say he's doing a good job. He's, maximum 5 out of 10. He's made some odd choices. In terms of team selection, we've got this lad on loan from Aston Villa called Tommy O'Reilly, who's quite a decent player, and he dropped him. It was a bit odd. Signed players on transfer deadline day straight into the team, and and then you haven't quite asked me, but the Achilles heel of our team is our centre backs.
Okay. So
we've got 2 Feeneys. A Feeney who played for Carlisle a couple of years ago, and we signed him last year. So he was in that League 2 winning Carlisle side. And then another Feeney, it's quite an unusual surname, another Feeney called Josh Feeney, who's on loan from Villa, who's got really high potential.
Okay.
So I think they're supposed to be the centre backs, but they've played together once.
Right.
And Toto Enciala, who's been at Burton, been at Fleetwood, was at Shrewsbury Town, and Paul Hurst. Paul Hurst loves a former player. He has been absolutely atrocious. Right. He gave away a terrible penalty when we were winning 1-0 away against Manfield on Saturday, and he's been a bit of a car crash. So it's quite a mixed bag, Shrewsbury Town at the moment. Plenty of things for us to talk about as a podcast.
That's the one thing. If the football team is doing rubbish or do the podcast, it's great news. There's always something to cover. I've got to ask about Josh Coyote. I know he's got injured again. Did he play it much at all before he got injured?
No, he scored like a poacher's goal against Notts County, I think, in the Papa John's, whatever it's called these days. Other than that, hasn't really played at all. Came with your injury record, now injured.
Surprise. We're going for him. We love him, but
hopefully we're not paying too much of his wage. But can't really say too much about him. Haven't really seen enough of him. He's was third choice striker. Yeah,
fair enough. Hopefully he gets fit for you and eventually starts going. We do wish him well. You mentioned a few players. What kind of setup is it? You mentioned 4-3-3 when Hurst came back in. Is that the current setup?
No, it's 4-2-3-1, which morphs into a kind of 4-1-4-1 defending. We actually played 4-4-2 in defence against Mansfield, proper 4-4-2 in defence against Mansfield, which really stifled them for 45 minutes. Paul Hurst is pretty good tactically. He'll make subtle tweaks. We play 4-2-3-1, and we play with number 10 because we've got a really good player on loan from Chelsea.
Okay. Let us finish with a prediction then. We're on a terrible run form. You're not much better. Not better. How's Saturday going to play out, do you reckon?
It's going to be a terrible football match.
Yeah, probably.
It's going to be utterly terrible. I'm sure your manager will be doing something he shouldn't be. Hopefully Doigi will be standing next to Paul Hurst because he's quite small. I predict a Shrewsbury Town 2-1 victory with some interesting videos, I imagine, in the away end, screaming and shouting at the Rotherham side that should be at the other end of the table. I think it's going to be an utterly dreadful football game, dominated by mistakes, low confidence, and people pausing it up.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think exactly the same.
And it could go either way, to be honest. Two teams not in high confidence. Obviously, you've got a bigger budget. Budget's probably twice ours. You shouldn't be where you are in the league table. Well, I don't know. In theory, you shouldn't be, but sometimes you actually look at the squad a few years later and you go, that actually wasn't very good, was it? But I don't think it won't be one for the neutrals. I don't think there'll be many people watching on Sky Plus if it is on Sky Plus. But yeah, I think maybe more entertaining on the dugout than on the pitch.
I think you're probably right. Thank you. I will put the links in the show notes, so do check out Salopcast. Thank you, whoever's watching. Make sure you have subscribed on YouTube and give it a thumbs up. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Up the Millers.